Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we are exploring the idea that we can add years to our lives with some simple lifestyle changes.
Wow.
We're diving into a study on veterans that suggests we could be adding over 20 years. That's right, 20. So let's unpack this and see what we can learn.
It's a bold claim, definitely worth examining closely.
Right.
The study itself was conducted by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and it analyzed data from over 700,000 veterans.
Wow, that's a massive data set.
Yeah.
Before we get too carried away, can you remind me what the limitations of this type of study are?
Right. So it is important to remember that this is an observational study. It's not a controlled experiment.
Okay.
So that means we're really looking at correlations, not proving that one thing directly causes another. For example, the study might show a link between exercise and longevity, but we can't definitively say that exercise causes people to live longer.
Got it.
There could be other factors at play.
It's more about spotting interesting connections than taking it as gospel. So what were some of those interesting connections that they looked at? What behaviors?
So they focused on 8 modifiable lifestyle factors: physical activity, opioid use, smoking, diet, sleep, binge drinking, stress, and social connection.
Right. And some of these might seem obvious, but I think the study helps us quantify
Right.
their impact. So let's start with physical activity. I'll admit I'm always looking for motivation to move more. What did this study reveal about physical activity?
So even modest amounts of physical activity were associated with a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the study didn't actually specify types of activity, so
Wow.
we can look to other research for guidance. For a well-rounded approach, I would say consider combining aerobic exercise, like brisk walking or swimming, with strength training and flexibility exercises.
So it's not just about hitting the gym hard. It's about finding sustainable ways to stay active. What about like taking a daily walk? Could that really make a difference?
Absolutely. Consistency is key. A 30-minute brisk walk each day can do wonders for your heart health, your metabolism, and even your mood. It's something that most people can easily incorporate into their routines.
That's encouraging. Okay, next on the list is opioid use. Seems like a heavy topic. Why was it included in this study?
Yeah. So opioid use was likely included because of the prevalence of chronic pain among veterans.
Okay.
It underscores the fact that health is multifaceted and sometimes intertwined with complex issues like managing pain.
So it kind of sheds light on the specific health challenges faced by this population.
Makes sense. Now let's talk about smoking. I know it's bad for us, but how bad did the study find it to be?
Yes, smoking was strongly linked to early death in the study. And that's not surprising given its well-documented impact on nearly every organ system. It significantly increases your risk of heart disease, lung cancer, and a host of other serious conditions.
A sobering reminder to quit if you haven't already, or better yet, never start. All right, next up is diet. What kind of dietary wisdom can we glean from this study? So the study wasn't overly prescriptive about specific diets, but it did reinforce the benefits of a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein. These foods provide essential nutrients and antioxidants that support overall health and longevity.
So it's about focusing on nutrient-dense whole foods rather than getting caught up in fad diets. That seems manageable. Let's talk about sleep now.
Sure.
I'm a big believer in a good night's rest. What did this study show?
So the study really highlights the crucial role of sleep in overall health. Quality sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's essential for hormone regulation, immune function, even cellular repair. Think of it as your body's nightly maintenance routine.
I knew sleep was important, but that makes it seem even more crucial than I realized. Okay, on to the next factor, binge drinking. What exactly qualifies as binge drinking, and what were the findings?
So binge drinking is generally defined as consuming a large amount of alcohol in a short period, 5 or more drinks for men and 4 or more for women.
Okay.
And the study found a clear correlation between binge drinking and a higher risk of death.
Interesting. So it's not just about overall alcohol consumption, but also about how we're drinking. Next up is stress, which feels like a tricky one to pin down. How did the study approach measuring stress, and what do they find?
Yeah, that's where it gets a little bit complex. Stress is subjective and hard to measure objectively. The study likely relied on self-reported measures of stress, which can be influenced by individual perceptions and experiences.
Right.
They did, however, find a link between higher stress levels and increased mortality risk.
Especially for veterans. Stress can take many forms, including combat-related trauma, PTSD, difficulties adapting to civilian life. It's not your average work deadline stress.
Exactly. Understanding the context is key.
Right.
And then the final factor is social connection. The study highlighted the importance of having strong, positive relationships in our lives.
That one makes sense. I've always felt that having close friends and family is good for the soul. And now it seems like it's good for longevity, too.
Research consistently shows that strong social connections can have a profound impact on our well-being. They buffer against stress, they boost your mood, and even contribute to a longer lifespan.
So we've covered all 8 lifestyle factors. And it's amazing how interconnected our behaviors are with our health and how much control we potentially have. But let's circle back to that eye-catching statistic, the potential to add 20-plus years to our lives. How did they even arrive at that number?
It's all about comparing groups and calculating life expectancy. Essentially, they compared the average lifespan of individuals who embraced all 8 healthy habits to those who didn't. Imagine it like a race, where one group has a significant head start based on their lifestyle choices.
Okay, so it's not a guarantee that everyone who adopts these habits will automatically live 20 years longer. It's more about understanding the overall impact these choices can have.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the potential, not taking it as a literal promise. Individual results will always vary based on genetics, environment, access to healthcare, and countless other factors.
Right, it's about stacking the odds in our favor, not chasing some magic formula. But this study does give us a lot to think about in terms of how our daily choices can affect our long-term health.
Absolutely. It's empowering to realize that we have more control over our health span, the number of years we live in good health, than we might think.
That brings us to, I think, the most important question. What does this all mean for our listener? How can they apply these findings to their own life?
That's the million-dollar question. And it's where things get really exciting. You don't need to be perfect to reap the benefits. Small changes adopted consistently over time can have a significant impact.
So it's not about becoming a health guru overnight. It's about making sustainable changes that fit into our lives. What would you say is the most important thing for our listener to take away from all of this?
I would emphasize that personalization is key. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. I encourage our listener to reflect on which of these 8 factors resonate most strongly with their own values, circumstances, and goals.
That's such an important point. It's easy to get overwhelmed trying to change everything at once. Instead, focus on 1 or 2 areas that feel most meaningful and achievable for you.
Precisely. Maybe it's about committing to a daily walk, prioritizing sleep, or finding healthier ways to manage stress. Start small, build consistency, and celebrate those wins along the way.
I love that. It's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And speaking of progress, it's never too late to start making positive changes, is it?
Absolutely not. The study actually showed that individuals who adopted healthier habits later in life still experience significant benefit.
That's incredibly encouraging. It's never too late to invest in our health and well-being. Any other words of wisdom for our listener as they embark on this journey?
Remember that you don't have to go it alone. There's a wealth of resources and support systems available. Talk to your doctor, connect with friends or family who share similar goals, or explore online communities focused on healthy living.
The power of community and shared accountability can make a huge difference. All right, before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listener with a little challenge.
A call to action. I like it.
Of these 8 lifestyle factors we've discussed, which one will you focus on this week? What small, achievable step can you take to move towards a healthier, more vibrant you? It doesn't have to be a huge, overhaul. Just one small step in the right direction.
Yeah. Maybe it's committing to a daily walk, adding an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner, or setting a consistent sleep schedule.
Right. The point is to choose something that resonates with you and start building those healthy habits.
Exactly.
And remember, we're here to support you on this journey. We'll be back next week with another deep dive exploring a new, fascinating topic.
Until then, keep those brains engaged and keep striving for that healthier, happier you.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful look at the power of lifestyle choices.
It's remarkable how much influence we have over our own well-being.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.
And as always, we would love to hear from you.
Share your thoughts on social media or leave us a comment on our website.
Tell us which lifestyle factor you are committing to this week.
We're all in this together, and we're excited to see the positive changes you create in your life.
Until next time, take care and keep learning.
Bye. For now,